Yo, so today basically I've stolen the wife's car and we're going to do 5 things I love about the Suzuki Swift Sport. So when we were going to purchase a car, we looked at a variety of different options. This one was the one that came out on top. There was a load of different reasons. Some of them the wife didn't like, some of them I didn't like. But basically, just to run through, we discounted like Ford Fiesta, we discounted the Mini, we discounted Fiat 500, all for a variety of different reasons. And this is the one that came out on top. Out of them all, I would say we probably made the best choice. If you're not that bothered about sort of name brands and things like that, obviously Suzuki doesn't hold them as much weight as Mini or anything. But if you're not bothered about any of that and you just want a car that's fun to drive, quite quick, and looks good, then I would say sort of this one kind of tops the list. Price point as well, this was cheaper than the equivalents of the other brands also, because you don't have to pay for the extra for that badge. So let's talk about when this car's cold. So this car feels like a mix of old school technology and new school technology. So for example, it's got the sat nav, it's got the DAB radio, it's got all that jazz. But at the same time, to drive it, it doesn't feel like modern cars. It doesn't have the numb feeling and the numb handling where everyone who doesn't really like to drive that much goes, oh yeah, that feels nice, because you don't feel anything. It has a character, this car. If you've ever driven like an old school car from the late 80s, early 90s, like a Cosworth or something like that, or even a motocross bike, it's very similar behaved when it's cold. When it's cold, it feels restrictive. It doesn't like to rev. It doesn't like to do anything until it's warmed up and everything's up to temperature. When it gets up to temperature, it behaves very differently to how it does when it's cold and you first start going. It feels a lot like it breathes better, like it revs, it wants to rev, it wants to go. So like complete Jekyll and Hyde. And I think that gives the car tons of character that you don't find in modern cars. Handling. So one of my favourite things about this car is the way that it handles. It's quite difficult to explain, but like when you're doing what they call spirited driving, it feels like it's quite a neutral driving. Like a lot of cars for the road are set up to understeer, because if something goes wrong, that's the easiest thing for the majority of people to sort out. And whilst this does understeer slightly, it's not like plow on understeer like some other cars have. What you'll find is the car will like adjust into the corner and then settle. I don't know what happens if you go beyond that, because I've never ever gone beyond that in this car. But yeah, it's nice and progressive. You can kind of feel like what the car's gonna do as you're going into the corner and as you're going round the corner. So there's no like surprises or anything like that. Obviously a bit of understeer, but also at the same time fairly neutral and just nice and progressive handling. So no surprises. Cup holders. It's got more cup holders than Nana's got change. Cup holders for days this thing's got. Ones, twos, threes, your fours, your fives, your sixes, and your sevens. So the seats are I wouldn't call them a bucket, but I would call them very supportive basically. They've got the side bolsters, they've got the leg bolsters, and they're not as firm as other cars I've been in, so when you're getting in and out you don't accidentally give yourself a dead leg, but they kind of like mold to fit. So like I'm a completely different size from the wife, and both her and me find the same chair comfortable, whereas if it was like a more traditional like racing bucket seat, then you would either have to have one that was too small for me or too big for her, but no kind of in between. Whereas the seats in this car, whilst they provide the support round corners and things like that, so you don't need to be holding on to the steering wheel to keep yourself in your chair to stop you falling over to the passenger seat, they kind of like fit around both of our bodies, if that makes sense. The looks of this car are non-binary. It doesn't scream woman, it doesn't scream man, just kind of sits somewhere nice in between, where either like the look of the car. Like I said, it's my wife's car, so she loves the look of the car. I like the way the car looks. and I'm happy to get in it either as a passenger or drive it. A previous car, not so much. A previous car would only go out in the dark. And that's the end of the video for today. So the 5 things that I love about this car. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you have something else to add? Let me know in the comments below. Always open for discussion, and I'll see you later. Bye.